Kawasaki Versys 300X. Been wanting to ride this for a while. I had the choice between the Z650 and the Versys, and I always wanted to ride the Versys because it would be nice to have something like a small adventure bike, you know. There's really nothing out there in a market like this besides maybe that Chinese bike, CSC. The CSC Cyclone, there we go, the Cyclone. Yeah, that would be like the next closest bike to this one. Not many people make a small adventure bike type of thing. So right now you can see the difference between the bigger Versys and the small Versys. So this is a I think this is 650 maybe, or 1000, I'm not sure, but doesn't say. There's another Versys right here. So they got every flavor of Versys, I think. But you can see definitely it's smaller, and this one actually looks taller. Alright, here we go. Riding the Versys 300. Man, does it feel comfortable? It's tall. So the Versys 300 has the same engine as the old Ninja 300, except I think it's been tuned for more torque, and I can feel it. It feels like it wanting to pull pretty good in the lower RPMs compared to the Ninja. I just rode the Ninja 400, so. So it's very comparable to it, actually. The gauge cluster is almost exactly the same. It doesn't have that kind of bronze and black background. Yeah, it's a pretty low bike, so it I can heel foot it. Heel foot it pretty good. So if you're not a very tall rider, you could actually ride this, even though it feels tall. It feels tall when you're riding. So you gotta make sure you kind of rev it up. You can't just twist the throttle and it will go. It's not like my DR. It doesn't have a whole lot of torque, but it doesn't go anywhere when you twist the throttle. You gotta get used to twisting the throttle, man. That Zero just passed me, man. You really have to rev the balls off of it. I'll tell you this now, I wish it had a little more power. But it's very light. Yeah, it feels good to stand. Standing feels good. Yeah, it's comfortable. I can stand straight up. The bike is very comfortable to ride, though. It has a very soft acceleration, though. It's going to be tough to ride this off-road, I think, unless you keep the rev up. Same feeling riding the Ninja 400, man. It's pretty low to the ground. It's not too heavy. I guess, if you dropped it, it's going to be hard to pick it up. We will not be dropping it today. Zero FXS! He has so much freaking power, dude. I'm twisting it all the way, and that guy just blowing past me in the FX. It is very comfortable to ride this, though, man. I just wish it had a little more power, man. I think a 400 or 450, this bike would be perfect. It needs to have more torque, man. But they've already tried to give it as much torque as it can with this engine. Alright. Yeah, man, it's really comfy bike to ride, man. You could ride this thing all day. I'm sure if you get used to the power band, it'll be a great bike, But, it's an adventure bike, and obviously you want to load down adventure bikes with luggage and stuff and go adventure riding, and I'm not so sure how well it'll do, fully loaded, But it has the racks and everything, ready to go, so you can go off on an adventure already, Yeah, it's very comfortable. Very neutral riding position. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the seat feels like it's hard as a rock, man. If I was to get this bike, I would put like some kind of air seat on it or something, or some aftermarket seat, because it feels like you're sitting like on a 2x4 or something. Oh yeah, you know, if you really get on the throttle, it'll take off in second. He was saying it has a really low first gear, and you know, yeah, that's good. It's good, great for riding off-road. You're gonna need that first gear. Going up and down hills, you know. Here we go. The power, the power. I should have put it in third gear, man. Alright, here we go. Second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. Yeah, it'll go, man. Once it gets in the power band, dude, it takes off. Man, that is crazy, dude. It just fucking screams, dude. You're not going. It makes a lot of noise and it doesn't go anywhere very fast. FXS, dude. The FXS is a sweet bike though, man. So we're in 6th gear, just cruising at 70 miles an hour. And it's pretty smooth, not bad. Actually, and the wind protection is not bad at all. This just got a tiny little windscreen on it, you know. Got a tiny little windscreen and it does a good job. I can still feel a lot of wind over my helmet, but off of my chest. Oh shit! It just does not accelerate fast. That's all. If you're riding, oh shit. If you're riding with a lot of big bikes. Man, I don't know what it feels. I don't know what it is. It feels like the back and like it kind of wanders sometimes when I get on the throttle really hard. Like it's dancing around a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I kind of don't like that feeling. Like the back isn't stable or something, you know? But 70 miles an hour is pretty comfortable cruising. Work pretty good. It's getting pretty windy now at 76. By the water here, so it's going to be a little breezier. 76, I'm getting a little bit of a vibration in the handlebars. Like a more distinct vibration, you know. 77, but you know, the engine doesn't sound like it's gonna explode. Well, maybe it does kind of sound like it's gonna explode. It's working really hard, dude. Does it have passing power? Yes, it has passing power. Barely has passing power. It feels like it's just got adequate power. It has just enough power, you know. Kind of like a Toyota Prius. It has just enough power to get its job done. Alright, since we're stopped, we'll go over to gauge closer. But okay, so it's basically the same as the Ninja 400. There's a button on the dash. There's one button on top and one on the bottom. The top one changes the top stuff, and the bottom one changes the bottom settings. So here we got range, 187 miles. That's pretty good. We got a full tank, so I'd imagine you can probably get 200 on this tank. That's your miles per gallon currently. We're getting 46 miles per gallon. That's pretty good. That's actually not very good for a small bike. And and then the range. So, and the top is just your trip, your odometer, and then 2 trip settings. So that's pretty much it for the gauge cluster, man. There's not much to it, just like the Ninja. Literally just the same as the Ninja. There looks like a little blank out here for a switch and a 12-volt power thing. Yeah, so you could add a 12 volts power outlet and some kind of switch or something like a grip warmer or something. So it's got, I mean, I don't know what accessories they have for this, but it looks like you can put a lot of stuff on this bike. It'll make it more adventure ready, you know. Get some engine guards too, because look at these older plastic guards, man. These plastics, it'll totally get scratched up. I have no idea where we're going. Whoa, whoa, man, it goes over these little whoops, no problem. I'm standing right now. Wow, that's like some street whoops there, man. We went over that, no problem. Alright, now I'm going to sit down through this little whoop section. See how it handles all these whoops. Not bad. You can reel it around the corners. It's pretty good. Look at that, nice view. It goes over the bumps, no problem. Yeah, so you can crouch pretty good, stand pretty good. Not bad. Yeah, it's good ergonomics for standing, so I can see why they call this an adventure bike. So 6th gear is basically your cruising gear. When you get in 6th, you know, you don't got a whole lot more power. We're just cruising at 50 miles an hour. It feels really comfortable going 50, 55. Hardly any vibrations. Good wind, good aerodynamics for a tall adventure bike, you know. Very stiff. Very stiff ride. I mean, it's not super stiff, but it feels like it feels planted, you know, is what I'm going to say. It doesn't want to take off. I had to downshift twice there. I was like, nope, nope. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's going. Oh. Jesus. I gotta punish it to be able to keep up with that Z900. I bet that bike is not even trying, you know? Oh, come on, come on, let's go. It just feels like I'm punishing this bike all the time, dude. You've gotta punish it to get any power out of it, man. Man, it just goes over these, you know, bumps and stuff and potholes, no problem. And San Francisco is full of them, man. God, I can smell. It'll get there, man. You kind of have to be a little strategic, you know, with your acceleration, you know. If I duck down behind the windscreen, good. It's pretty quiet. I'm doing about 77 right now. The handlebar's a little bit vibey. 80 right now. A little bit vibey. Just a little bit. I'd imagine your hands will probably get numb at that speed after a while. But at 70, it's fine. Perfectly fine at 70. Butter smooth. Well, not butter smooth. You can still feel a little vibration, but it's not, you know, it's not very noticeable. So about 75, we're doing about 8,000 RPM. And it's screaming, dude. But the wind is blowing me around a little bit. Just a little bit. Even just sitting back is not too bad. It's a very good windscreen. I like it. It's such a little windscreen, it works good, man. They do a good job with the aerodynamics on this bike. But yeah, man, you gotta twist, you gotta work it hard. That's what I don't like about this bike. If they made a 400 or 450, you know, something with more torque. But yeah, so he was saying it has a shorter first gear, so when you do get to that tough off-road riding, the lower first gear will help out a lot, you know. And then if you just want to cruise, you just go up a gear, you know. And it doesn't really mind what speed you're riding at, you know. Like my DR, it doesn't feel comfortable riding in a dirt over like 50 miles an hour, you know. It's getting really windy now. You just tuck down a little bit and it helps a little bit. It's like really, really windy right now. And it's doing alright. Actually, the seat isn't, I've been sitting on the seat for a little while. It's not too bad. You know, I'm kind of leaning forward a little bit. Maybe that's helping a little bit. Goes over the bumps, no problems. It feels very rigid too. I mean, the frame feels very rigid. Very nice. All you have to do is throw some knobbies on this and then you take it for an adventure ride. But yeah, I feel like it would be nice if there was more torque. Can I take this for an adventure ride? Hell yeah, I would. Yeah, it's too bad it doesn't have all those little creature comforts. But you know, for the price, you're getting a pretty good bike. You know, you can just add heated grips. You know, you can add a throttle lock thing. It's comfortable riding slow too, man. It's a good, you know, all around bike. And if you just wanted to use it as a commuter, it could do that too. You know, you can put a little trunk on it. It's comfortable. It gets good gas mileage. It's getting about 50 miles per gallon right now. Average is getting 46, but we've been flogging the hell out of it. But I'd imagine, you know, if this is my bike, I would be flogging it all the time too. But we've been on it. We've been on it pretty good. Super light throttle. It's nice. Doesn't have all those electronic doodads getting those, but you don't need them. You know, you don't need them. It's got a gear indicator. It's good. It's about the only luxury you get, a gear indicator. Pretty much none of my bikes have a gear indicator. And it's just pretty good too. Very good at riding slow too. I would want to use this for Gymkhana. This would be a good Gymkhana bike. It's got good ergos. Man, the sun came out. Look at that. There's beautiful San Francisco. Okay, HadesOmega here. My battery just ran out, so I'm going to finish the ride review right here.
There it is, beautiful downtown. Beautiful downtown.
HadesOmega here. So So my camera ran out of battery when I was riding the Versys 300X. So that was the first time I rode it. I'm just going to do my little quick end review right now. So it was pretty much it's like a no-frill small adventure bike is what it was. It was very comfortable to stand. Yeah, so I could understand it's got very good ergonomics for riding off-road. Now, I didn't get to ride it off-road. I didn't get to ride it through some really bumpy stuff, so I couldn't really test what it could do with that. But I'd imagine it could do pretty good. It needs more power. Honestly, I feel like if you were going to ride a bike in the dirt or something, you're going to want, like, that lower first gear helps a lot. That would help a lot. But I feel like, it needs more torque. I need less revs and more torque, and you can't get that out of that little engine. Hopefully that they'll be coming out with a Versys X 400 soon, because they got the 400 Ninja, but and it'll have a little bit more power, but they've already tuned the Versys engine to have more torque than the Ninja, so you could definitely tell that, even though it was a 300. So it'd be kind of harder to ride off-road because you'd have to keep the revs up all the time. But like I didn't get to ride it off-road, so I can't really comment too much on that. The seat was like super hard, but actually it was super hard at first, but you kind of get used to it. I think if you just get like a seat cover, like a softer seat cover for it, I think it was a good seat. And it's a really odd bike to ride, because when you ride it, it's really tall, but your feet can touch the ground really easily. It's not really that tall, but it feels that way when you're riding it. But I didn't really check the ground clearance. It looked like it had pretty good ground clearance too. So, and they said they can get a whole bunch of accessories like different windscreens and crash bars and panniers. It's ready to go adventure riding. So, like I said, there's no other kind of adventure bike like that right now, besides maybe the CSC Cyclone, and that's an even smaller bike. That's a 250. But if you like to ride a bike and you just like to just punish it all the time to get power out of it, that's the one for you. I'm used to riding bigger bikes, so for a beginner bike, it's a good bike. For a commuter bike, I think it would be a good bike too. Maybe you'd want to get some heated grips, but it feels like it's a bike that you can just throw accessories on it, kind of like the KLR. Yeah, so I don't know what it's like to ride it off-road. That was like one of the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lightweight adventure bike. Something that, is comfortable riding a long time on the street, but you can go off on the dirt and go camping and, do some light, or, well, if you have a light adventure bike, that means you can do more, ride through more difficult terrain. So kind of like some kind of intermediate dirt is what I'm trying to look for, My DR is great doing everything, but on the freeway, I feel like it's not comfortable on the freeway for long periods of time at high speeds. And that's what I'm looking for in an adventure bike. So yeah. But it feels like it's really light. If you dropped it, you could pick it up really easy. Actually, I didn't go over to MSRP. I didn't know what it was. I'll put a subtitle below. But there's really nothing else in its class. Maybe CB500X, but the CB500X is more of a street bike, is what it is. So yeah, I had a lot of fun riding it. I had a lot of fun wringing its neck. You'll know right away if you need the downshift when you twist the throttle and it just kind of chugs a little bit, or you don't want to go, and you're like, damn, I got to go down again. So the shifter was pretty good. Not as good as the Ninja 400 gearbox, though. So I felt that the Ninja 400 gearbox was better. So they must have improved it or something. Yeah, it's a nice little bike. I've been waiting a while to ride it, and I finally did, and I like it. I like it a whole lot. But I feel like I want a bike with more torque. The power didn't wow me. So I'm gonna tell you, dude, you have to just ring that engine, man. You gotta ring it.
Like if you're not going like 10,000 or like 8,000 or 10,000 RPM and just twisting it all away, you're not getting everything that motor can give you. You know. I got a KLR 650, so it's kind of like between that and the KLR 650. I would like the KLR 650 more because it has more torque. But yeah, the KLR 650 is heavier. The X300 is really light. That's a light bike. And if you're short, you can ride it too. So that's another good thing. If you want to get into adventure riding and you're not very tall, that's a good bike right there. And you could probably lower it too some more, but I wouldn't. I would keep it stock height so you can get some good ground clearance if you're going over rocks and stuff. I feel like give that bike some more torques and drop the revs a little bit. Put a bigger engine, do something. But try not, just try to keep the weight down as much as possible. And then you got a winner, man. It's already got the spoke wheels and everything, so the wheels are much more rigid, and I had no problem going over bumps and stuff. We even rode over some street whoops. I've never seen that before. There were like whoops on the street. I was like, whoa, this is kind of weird, and it was very comfortable to stand too. So I think you could ride it off road, but if it had like more like a dirt bike power band, it would be better. But then it's a compromise. It's not as good on the freeway. It's just like that feeling of like, oh, I'm in the wrong gear. Like it's kind of like riding a two-stroke almost, but it doesn't have that explosive power at the top end like a two-stroke does. It just has like so power. Yeah. But yeah, after 10,000 RPM, it gets going. It'll get going, and it got like 45 miles per gallon the way we were riding it. So man, it was crazy. I'd imagine if maybe you were doing more cruising, you probably get 50, 60, maybe 70. It's a small engine. It should get good gas mileage. But I'm not really sure what the size of the gas tank is, and the range said it went a little like 180 miles. So I'd say the range is about like 200. So that is my take on the Versys X300 or 300X. It's a good bike. I think if you're trying to get into adventure riding, it would be a good bike. Other bikes you might want to look at is probably the CRF 250, the KLX 250, KLR 650, but it's a lot heavier. CB 500X is another bike that's similar. CSC RX3, the Cyclone, and the CRF would probably be the closest. The CRF 250 Rally would probably be the closest bike to the Versys, except that's more like a dirt bike. So it's depending on what you're looking for. This one is a little more streety, is what I'm gonna say, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a good keep at it, Kawasaki. All right, let's make out.